Hello YouTube, this is Creative Mind 7 here, and I'm going to show you how to make a pull pin fuse out of household items. Okay, so the purpose of a pull pin fuse is like if you have a firework and you want to put a longer fuse on it and you want to like run away or something, you can use a pull pin fuse, which you pull a pin and it's a fuse that travels down. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to make it out of household items. Okay, so first thing you're going to need is Scotch tape, just standard Scotch tape. Pair of pliers, needle nose pliers works best. Scissors and standard matchbook, just matches with a striker on the back. A razor, you don't actually have to use this, but it makes it easier, I think. A rubber band and a paper clip. So first thing you're going to want to do is you probably want to use about 4 matchbooks. That's what I'm using in this one to make a medium-sized one. Okay, so what you want to do is you take it apart, take the matches out. There's a staple in there, so that might be a little difficult. Keep this, you're going to need that later. Then you take your pliers, your needle nose pliers, and then there's a staple in there, like I said earlier, and you want to bend that and take it out. Okay, and then once that's out, these two should come apart, like that. Okay, so this is one, and I previously did 3 more because it kind of takes a while. Okay, so you've done that to 4, so you have 8 of these things. Okay, so now you set those aside. Then you take your book of matches that doesn't have any matches in it anymore, and see that's a striker on the back. Well, you want that striker, so you use your scissors and you cut it out. And then that stuff you can just throw away. Okay, now you have your striker. Now you set that aside, and this is where you need to use your Scotch tape. So you take maybe about a foot, 3/4 of a foot, something like that, and you rip it off. And then this is kind of tricky, okay? You want to tape it to the table with the sticky side facing up. So you bend one side, stick it to the table, and then you bend the other side, and then you stick it to the table and kind of roll it. So it's there. So that's the sticky side. The bottom side is the non-sticky side. Okay, this is where you need these. So they're kind of all squished together like that. So what you want to do is you rip them apart in half. So you just do that with all of them. And then, yeah. I might actually not use all these because this is actually a lot. So, yeah, I'd say 2 or 3 matchbooks should make a good sized one. Okay, once you're done that, you take one and then just flatten out the matches so they're straight. This is what they previously look like. They're just all like 2 on that side, 3 on that side. But then you flatten them out straight like that, and then you place them. This is a very crucial part of it because you have to get this right or else it will burn out while it's going. So you stick it on and you just leave barely just enough to see it coming over on this side, and the rest is just on this side. And then you take another one, you place it exactly beside it so that they're touching. Then you push it down to hold it in place. And then you keep doing that until you've gone about halfway down your tape. Make sure you don't go all the way down, because then it won't work. I'll show you why that is in a second. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely not going to use all these. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've used 3 1/4 matchbooks. Or wait, no. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so this is, actually I can put more on. Okay, this is where you take it off, and then you fold it over. This is kind of tricky. And again, you just want to leave just enough on this side so that you can see them. You go like that. And then the excess stuff you just cut off with your scissors. Okay, this is the startings of your pull pin fuse, just like that. Okay, now, this is also tricky, and if you mess up on this part, it can like screw it all up. So, you want to cut off the match heads. But you don't want to cut too far, or else you'll be cutting off some of the match. Like the magnesium and sulfur, that's the igniting part. So, but then you don't want to cut too little, or too much. Yeah, too little. Okay, so you're just cutting it off like that. If you don't have big scissors, it's kind of tricky, but there we go. And then this is garbage. This is what you want. So you might have to flatten it down, because if it's loose, then it's not that good. Okay, so this is actually a fuse. This, you could just stick into a firework and light it off and go psh, and it would travel down to the firework. But I'm going to show you how to put it on without using matches. That's where the pull pin comes in, the pull pin fuse, where you pull it and it lights it. Okay, so once you've done that, this is where you need, oh yeah, I forgot. You always want to save 2 matches of your match boxes for after. So I have some left over, so I'm just going to take 2, cut off the bottoms. Okay, these are my 2 matches. Okay, so now you want to place 1 match on one end, on one side, then 1 match on the other. Make sure that they're close to the match heads that are all lined up down there. Okay, and then that's like that. And then, right, you don't do that yet. You take your small piece of tape. This is where the razor blade comes in. You can use this with scissors, I just think it's easier to use a razor blade. You want to cut it in about, not in half, but a third. And then you just want like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, something like that. And then pull it off. And then there's your little strip of tape. Now is when you put your matches on. Just like that. And then you wrap the tape around it. And don't worry, the match heads along here the fire will travel under that piece of tape, so that's not a big deal. And then make sure that's fairly snug on there so that it looks like that. With one on both sides. Okay. This is where the striker comes in. So you take the striker and you place it on one side, and then you fold it over. And just like that. And then that's not on it. This is where your rubber band comes in. Preferably you want to use a smaller rubber band, but I didn't have them, and I've used these before, so it works, but it's just not as good because it's pretty thick on there when you put it on. And then you want to wrap the rubber band around it, around the striker, so that when there's pressure on the striker, so that when you pull it off, it ignites the 2 matches that are on there, and then ignites the rest. Okay, you just want to put it on kind of like that. And this is where your paper clip comes in. Just like paper clip. And then, so you have your pull pin fuse so far. And then there's the striker over top. So you want, keep dropping. So you put your paper clip in like that. And you turn it around. And then you just leave it like that. This is the finished product of your pull pin fuse. So yeah, and then what you do is you just put your fingers around this, pull this, and then it ignites those 2 matches that ignites those, and then travels along down to your firework or whatever you're lighting. Yep, that's my pull pin fuse. Okay, now I'm gonna demonstrate the pull pin fuse that I just made. This one? Yeah, okay. So what you need to do is you want to pull this, and then it should ignite down there, so. Yeah, so that's where it did, and it should travel down there.